My mother-in-law said, "You're not as maternal as I hoped." So I made a photo book called What Maternal Looks Like Now. It was just me and my dog, traveling, resting, and smiling. My husband said, "Page 9 is my favorite." I married into a family that believed women were born for one reason, to have babies and raise them without complaint. I didn't grow up like that. I was raised in Denver by a single mom who worked 2 jobs, took night classes, and never once told me that being a woman meant becoming a mother. Aaron knew all of this when we started dating. He said he admired how clear I was about who I was and what I wanted. We talked about kids early, and I told him I didn't think I wanted them. He said he was open either way. I believed him. I didn't meet his mom, Ellen, until we'd been dating for almost a year. She lived in Plano, Texas, and Aaron made it sound like she was a little traditional, which I figured meant she liked church and casseroles. What he should have said was she had an opinion about everything and never kept it to herself. The first time I met her, she gave me this long look before hugging me. Not warm, more like she was studying me. Then she said, "Oh, you're not what I pictured. You're petite." Not rude, but not kind either. It was a test. She wanted to see if I'd flinch. I just smiled. I wish I hadn't. She'd comment on everything after that. "My work in nonprofits, that's sweet, but don't you want something more stable? My clothes, that's bold. My cooking, interesting twist. You didn't grow up cooking, did you?" And then came the kid talk. Every single visit, it came up. At first, she was subtle. "I can't wait for a grandbaby. I already have the crib from when Aaron was little. I bet you'll change your mind about kids when you're 30. Do you even like children?" When I didn't respond the way she wanted, she got meaner. Thanksgiving, 2 years ago, she handed me the baby of Aaron's cousin and said, "Maybe this will help you figure out what you're missing." I handed the baby back and said I was going to check on the pie. I heard her mutter behind me, "She's not built for it." I told Aaron after that one that I didn't want to go back. He said he'd talk to her. I think he tried, but nothing changed. And deep down, I think he was scared to stand up to her. Then came that day. We were sitting in her backyard. It was a mild spring day, blue sky, not too hot. Willow, my dog, was lying at my feet. I was sipping sweet tea. Aaron was inside with his dad. It was just me and her. She had that same calm smile. "You know," she said, without looking at me, "you're not as maternal as I hoped." Just like that. No warning. Not angry. Just sure of herself. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her for a second, then stood up. I walked into the house, told Aaron we were leaving, and we drove 3 hours home without a word. That night, I sat on our back porch with Willow and thought about every little comment she'd made. Every way she tried to shrink me. I'd spent 4 years trying to play nice, trying not to make a scene. And for what? So this woman could tell me I wasn't enough? The next morning, I made a decision. I was done trying to be her idea of good. I wasn't a mother, but I was maternal. I just showed it in my own way. So I made a plan. A quiet one. One she wouldn't see coming. After that day, I stopped answering Ellen's texts. I stopped asking Aaron if he wanted to visit. I knew if he did, he would. And he did. Once. Alone. He drove up for a weekend, said it was for his dad's birthday. I didn't ask questions. I didn't care to know. I started doing something else with my weekends. I started taking pictures. At first, just of Willow. Her sleeping in a sun patch on the living room rug. Her leaning out the window of the car on Highway 290. Then of me and her together on trails, in cafes, in little towns outside Austin that most people don't bother stopping in. I took self-timer shots. I bought a cheap tripod. I started filling folders on my laptop. One night, I opened a new document. I called it, What Maternal Looks Like Now. It wasn't a rage move. It was quiet, steady, therapeutic. I filled that book with pages of me and Willow camping, reading on a blanket in the park, napping in hammocks. Me comforting her during fireworks. Her licking my face when I had the flu. I even added one where I'm holding her after she got hurt at the dog park. My eyes were swollen from crying. I put that one on page 9. Aaron saw me working on it one night and asked what it was. I told him. I didn't lie. I said, it's a book about maternal love, but not the kind your mom believes in. He didn't say much. He stared at the screen for a while. Then he said, page 9 is my favorite. That was it. A week later, I uploaded it to a photo book site. Ordered 2 hard copies. One for me, one for her. I wrapped it in plain brown paper. No note, no card, just the book. Mailed it to Plano. She didn't call. She didn't text. Nothing. But 2 weeks later, we got invited to a family dinner. Erin said she wanted to clear the air. I didn't believe her, but I went. I wanted to see her face. When we walked in, she hugged Erin. She nodded at me. I nodded back. Her smile was tighter than usual. Dinner was tense. She was polite. Overly polite. Kept saying please and thank you. I knew something was boiling under the surface. Halfway through dessert, she stood up, walked to her china cabinet, and pulled out the book. My book. She held it up and said, "This arrived." I suppose it's some kind of statement. I said, "It's a reflection. Of love. Of nurturing. Of care. Everything you said I wasn't." Erin stayed quiet. So did everyone else at the table. Her husband, her sister, 2 cousins. All staring. She said, "You think a dog makes you a mother?" I smiled. No. But I think loving something unconditionally, showing up for it every day, and building a life around that love, yeah, that makes me maternal. She slammed the book on the table. Not hard, but loud enough to jolt everyone. Then she said it. I feel sorry for Aaron. And that's when he finally spoke. His voice didn't raise, but it cut through the room. Don't. Just one word. But it felt like a wall being built. She blinked. What? Don't talk about me like I'm a victim, he said. You keep saying she's not maternal. You know what she is? She's calm. She's kind. She listens. She doesn't need to be someone's mother to know how to love. Ellen looked stunned. Genuinely stunned. I didn't need her approval anymore. But I needed that moment. I needed Aaron to pick a side. And he did. Still, it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. We didn't stay for coffee. After Aaron spoke up, Ellen froze. Her mouth opened like she had more to say, but she didn't. She just looked at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I didn't either. We got in the car. The silence was thick, but it wasn't angry. It felt like the kind of silence that comes after something important is said and there's nothing else to add. On the way home, Aaron said, I should have said it sooner. I didn't say anything. I just nodded. A few days later, something strange happened. I got an email from Ellen. She never emailed me before, not even once. It wasn't long. Just 4 lines. I want to talk. Just you and me. Not at my house. Somewhere neutral. I'll drive. Tell me where. I stared at it for a long time. I wasn't sure if this was some trick. Some weird guilt trip. But something in me was curious. Maybe even hopeful, though I hated to admit it. I picked a spot, somewhere public. A coffee shop in Waco, halfway between Austin and Plano. I brought Willow with me and chose a table on the patio. Ellen showed up in a pressed blouse, pearls, and heels. Like she was meeting the Pope. She didn't greet Willow. Just sat down, smoothed her skirt, and looked me dead in the eye. I had a miscarriage, she said. I blinked. What? Before Aaron. I was 23. It was a girl. I had no idea what to say. She kept going. They told me I probably wouldn't carry again. I got pregnant with Aaron a year later. It was high risk. I was on bed rest for 7 months. I almost lost him too. She paused, took a breath. I don't talk about it. Not with him. Not with anyone. But I see you with that dog, and it twists something in me. It's stupid, I know. But it feels like watching someone hold on to love so easily. Like it didn't cost them anything. I sat there, stunned. I didn't expect that. Not from her. Not ever. She wiped one eye but kept her voice steady. I don't hate you. I just didn't know what to do with you. I said, you could have tried not judging me. She nodded. I know that now. It wasn't an apology. Not really. But it was something. Something honest. Something that explained more than years of polite smiles and cutting comments ever could. We didn't hug. We didn't cry. But we sat there a while, drinking coffee. She asked about Willow. I told her about the rescue, about her fear of thunder, about how she curls into my chest when she's scared. Ellen listened. Really listened. Still, just because she opened up doesn't mean things magically got better. Aaron and I started doing therapy not because we were falling apart, but because we'd spent so long trying to keep the peace that we never really said how it felt to live in the middle of someone else's war. Then came another twist I never saw coming. 2 months after that coffee meeting, Aaron got an offer. A serious one. A long-term contract with a media group based in Seattle. Steady work, health benefits, travel included. But it meant moving, leaving Texas. Leaving everything, including Ellen. He asked what I thought. I told him it was his decision. I'd follow him if he wanted it. He said, what if I want a clean start? I said, then let's go. We listed the house 2 weeks later. That's when the real fallout hit. Word got out fast. Ellen didn't call. She showed up. I was packing boxes when I heard a knock. I opened the door, and there she stood, arms crossed, car still running in the driveway. I heard you're moving, she said. Yes, I said. In 2 weeks. She walked in without asking, looked around at the half-empty shelves and bubble-wrapped frames. So that's it? You're just leaving. I set down the box in my hands. Aaron got a great offer. He wants this. She shook her head. And you just go along with it. Like always. That stopped me. I didn't force him, Ellen, I said. And he's not a child. He made the call. You just don't like that he didn't ask your permission. She narrowed her eyes. You took him from me. I laughed once. No. You pushed him away. She looked like she wanted to slap me. She didn't. But the air between us was thick. I could see it in her face. She still didn't get it. She thought I'd won. That this was a game and I'd played it better. I'll never see him, she said. Maybe, I said. But you'll never see the version of him who trusted you either. That version died the day you called him a victim at your table. That landed. She stepped back. Her lips tightened, but she didn't speak. I don't need your blessing, I said. But let me give you something. Just so there's no confusion. I walked to the hall closet, pulled out the second copy of the book, What Maternal Looks Like Now. The one I kept. I opened it to page 9. Held it up. This is the day my dog got hurt, I said. I held her while she shook. I stayed up with her all night. I cleaned the blood off her fur. I didn't leave her side. She stared. That's what maternal looks like. Not perfect. Not traditional. But present. Loving. Steady. I handed it to her. You can take it. Or not. But I want you to see what love looks like when it doesn't come with conditions. She didn't take it. She left without another word. Aaron and I moved to Seattle. A fresh start, like he said. He got busy with work. I started my own photography project, one about chosen families, the ones built without blood, without babies, without rules. 3 months after we left, Ellen sent Aaron a letter. No apology. Just a photo. It was of her holding a puppy. A little rescue mutt wrapped in a blanket. On the back, she'd written, I'm learning. Aaron didn't say much. Just held the photo for a while, then slipped it into the back of my book, between pages 8 and 10. I made peace with the fact that she'd never really like me. And maybe I never really liked her. But I wasn't angry anymore. Just tired of pretending I needed her approval to live a full life. If there's revenge in this, it's not loud. It's not ugly. It's the kind that comes from choosing peace over permission. It's the kind that says, I survived your judgment and I still smiled on page 9. And that's enough.